God is saying to you. Stop everything for a moment and listen, not with your ears only, but with that quiet place inside you that already knows you were meant for more than a string of surprises and setbacks. If you felt blown about by recent storms, relationships that shifted, doors that closed, plans that dissolved like sugar and rain, know this first. None of it is random. God is saying to you now very clearly and tenderly, I said this would come for you. Those words are not a threat or a riddle. They are a promise and a map. This season, confusing as it felt, has not been a mistake. It has been preparation. It has been the slow, careful work of a divine hand rearranging the pieces so that what comes next will fit perfectly. I want to tell you a story because stories are how we remember truth. There was a man named Jonah. Not the biblical Jonah, but a modern Jonah who worked a steady job, loved his family, and tried to be a decent neighbor. Over a few months, his life began to change in ways he hadn't asked for. A promotion fell through. Someone he trusted at work started to avoid him, and the ones he counted on were suddenly distant in ways that left him sleepless. He wondered if he had done something wrong. He started to believe the lie that life was collapsing around him. One night, sitting on the back step, watching the street lights pool into puddles, Jonah felt a quiet conviction shift in his chest, almost like a small voice he'd have forgotten. This was always part of the road, not punishment, not random purpose. He didn't feel relief overnight, but he did begin slowly to look at those changes differently. Hidden truths about the job and the people involved began to surface. Small, honest conversations, a leaked email that made sense in a new light, the revelation that the promotion would have demanded compromises he wasn't ready to give. When the truth came, Jonah realized what had felt like loss was actually a rescue. God had said what would come and he had done it for Jonah's good. If you are nodding along, if something in your soul recognizes this, that means you are not outside of the story. You are inside of it. The shakeups you're facing are not to destroy you, but to align you. When the ground trembles, something deep is being set into place. Maybe a relationship had to end because intimacy was out of sync with integrity. Maybe an opportunity closed because a new door needed to open without the weight of compromise. Trust that the dismantling was deliberate, not chaotic, and that what looks like rubble is simply cleared space for a foundation that will last. There's a powerful rhythm to the way God moves. He speaks, things shift, truth is exposed, and then alignment follows. Sometimes the exposure of hidden intentions begins small. A text that doesn't add up. A partner who shields more than shares. A leader who praises privately but sidelines publicly. Other times, the unveiling is dramatic. An unexpected confession. A chain of events that suddenly make sense. A revelation that refines your circle overnight. These revelations are not likely meant to punish anyone. They are meant to clarify your path. When a mask falls away, you are given the gift of seeing with eyes that no longer accept illusion. You are set free to choose rather than being bound by what you once assumed. So, how do you anchor yourself in the middle of this? How do you not get swept away by the anxiety of what next? The first thing is to breathe and remember that decisiveness born of faith is different from frantic reaction. Anchor yourself in truth by practicing small decisive steps that declare your trust not just in words but in action. Say the prayer, but also make the move. If your spirit nudges you to step away from a draining relationship, step. If your heart whispers that it's time to speak what's been true for years, say it out loud with courage and humility. Anchor your life in actions that match your faith. Show up to the roles God has given you with excellence. Repair what you can where you've erred and refuse to pour your life into things that dim your soul. There is also healing in naming. Speaking truth about the way you've been shaped and about the lies that have tried to claim you is a brave thing. When you voice your truth, not to hurt or accuse, but to clarify and to liberate, you shine a light that will make the narrative coherent not only for you, but for others who need permission to see. That's why your testimony matters. When you tell the truth about a painful season, who you were, what you felt, how you made it through, you don't simply close a chapter. You hand a map to someone still lost in the same forest. Darkness loses its power when names are given to it. When you say aloud, "This was the season when I almost gave up." You also say, "And this is how I stepped forward." Your vulnerability creates a path through the shadows for others. Faith becomes visible through action. There's a big difference between an invisible belief and a faith that shows up in everyday choices. God's promise isn't to a passive hope, but to a courage that moves. When He says, "I said this would come for you," it's an invitation. Commit to faith through small, deliberate acts that align your life with the promise. That might mean setting aside a bit of time each day to pray specifically for clarity about relationships. It might mean making a decision to pursue reconciliation with someone you injured. It might mean investing your energy in a project that aligns with your soul rather than a paycheck that drains you. Decisive action matters because it tells the universe and your heart that you are ready. And there's freedom in decisiveness. So many people live under the tyranny of indecision because they fear making the wrong choice. This season, God is calling you to choose, not from a place of frantic hope, but from a posture of peace. Choose to walk away from what has been trying to define you, but never truly formed you. Choose to show up faithfully in the small places, your home, your work, your friendships, and watch as those small faithfulnesses compound. Choose the truth over the easy lie, even when the truth stings. When you anchor yourself with decisive choices, you will find that the ground beneath your feet, though it trembled, becomes steady again. There will be moments when the revelation that comes is uncomfortable. You may find out that someone you trusted had motives you never imagined. Perhaps some of your plans were never aligned with your calling. Or some of your habits have been quietly stealing your joy. Face those revelations with both courage and mercy. Courage to admit, to correct where correction is due, and to say hard things, mercy for yourself and for those whose humanity includes failure. Remember that discovering a truth you don't like does not negate your worth. It merely clears the air so you can breathe again. The truth will set you free, even when it stings to hear it. And let's speak plainly about the cost of silence. There's power in silence when you're listening. But there's danger in silence when you owe the truth. If you carry a burden that could be shared, an apology that could heal, an acknowledgement that might repair, consider voicing it. You may be surprised how the act of naming means more than memory. On the other hand, beware of the temptation to expose everything in a way that tears rather than heals. There's wisdom and timing in disclosure. Pray, seek counsel, and then speak with the aim of restoration, not revenge. As these hidden truths come into light, watch for the way God rearranges your life around integrity. You might see friendships graduate into mentorships. Seasons of scarcity turn into seasons of stewardship. Pain transforms into compassionate leadership. People who would have wasted your gifts will fall away while the ones who honor your calling will come closer. It may be unsettling, but it is reordering toward your destiny. Trust the pruning. Remember that every garden needs trimming before it can bear fresh fruit. There is an additional layer to this. Your story of revelation is also a platform for others. When you choose to live out what you've learned, to be visible about your commitments, to model boundaries, to live transparently, you become a lighthouse. Not by seeking applause, but by steady witness. The way you live after God says, "I said this would come for you," will be a sermon far more compelling than anything you could write. Your courage will teach those around you that it's possible to survive truth and to thrive after it. People will not only watch you, they will learn from you. That's why your choices now are so important. They ripple beyond your life. Practically, how do you walk this path? Start with these small concrete commitments. Write down the patterns that have been repeating in your life. Ask God to show you one truth today and one action you can take to align with that truth. Choose one relationship where you will either set a boundary or initiate healing. And each morning declare a short prayer of intentionality like, "Today I will act in ways that honor truth and bring life." Take tangible steps. Tidy one corner of your life that has become a mess. Schedule a difficult conversation with courage and calm. Or step into a role that frightens you because it calls you closer to purpose. Each small action is a visible stitch that binds faith to reality. And when the revelation comes, when the hidden motives are revealed, when the truth clarifies the fog, do two things. Receive it and respond. Receive it with humility, understanding that revelation is not primarily about blame, but about clarity. Respond with wisdom, choosing repair where repair is possible and release where release is the healthier path. If someone confesses and commits to change, allow room for restoration with accountability. If someone refuses the truth, protect yourself with kind firmness. Not every door reopens. Not every bridge is rebuilt. But every truth spoken gives you freedom to move forward with clearer eyes. Do not neglect the inner work. Revelation often uncovers not only external truths but also inner ones, places where fear or pride have shaped behavior. Sit with God about those parts of you that need to be healed. Confession is not a one-time event, but a daily practice of aligning your inner life with the light. In silence, in prayerful solitude, allow the divine to speak into your habits and to plant new rhythms. The outer changes will be more durable when the inner soil is tilled. Grace will walk with you through this. You are not called to be flawless, only faithful. There will be missteps in the process, but missteps are not the end of the story. They are the lessons that make your testimony credible. When you stumble, and you will, because you are wonderfully human, return to courage and compassion. Forgive yourself as God forgives you and then move forward wiser for the fall. Now breathe again and feel that steady peace settle. God isn't done with you. What looks like confusion is being reauthored. The hidden truths that will surface are not there to destroy you, but to free you. They'll remove what's heavy and reveal what's holy. You are being invited to align not with the shifting winds of circumstance, but with the steady promise of a loving Creator who declared what would come long before you began to walk this path. If this word landed in your spirit, type "I receive this" in the comments as your declaration that you will walk into clarity with courage and purpose. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel to reach 10,000 divine subscribers very soon. Please share this video to your loved ones. Type Amen to affirm. Thanks for watching.